Hey, what is up? It's Jim. I'm back with another Tiller tip. And this week we're talking about self control. I think self control is such a great thing for us to have, and it's important for us to figure it out. But in another way, it's really important for us not to figure it out. And so we'll talk about that in a few moments. But before I get to that, man, in my coaching, can I share with you there's one topic that is just constantly coming up. If you coach men, the topic of pornography is going to come up. It is such a prevalent epidemic of an issue right now. I hate it. I think it makes sense to me why so many men struggle with this. But, one of my first Tiller tips, maybe the third one or the fourth one in this series way back in the day, I was skiing with Anderson, and we stopped on the mountain and talked about how there's an avalanche of pornography. And, I really am emphatic with him. If you believe me on one thing and one thing only, that one thing is avoid pornography, as it is such a sneaky, addictive thing that feels like, okay, I'm not hooking up with someone, like it's really can't be that big of a deal. This woman's undressing and doing things, of her own free will, and she wants people to consume it, and I'm not hurting anyone. But the reality is you are devastating someone, and that someone is you, man. Like it warps your mind in significant ways. And, notice that this Tiller tip is not about pornography, but that's the backdrop of this. I really want to talk about self-control. And, every week I'm having the same conversation about pornography. And, this past week I had someone who's been on a good streak. He's been doing well to resist the temptation. And this past week he fell. And, I reminded him, this is a kind of a curt thing that I say, but I really do feel this deeply, is that I'm not actually super interested in porn mitigation, right? Just helping you avoid porn. That's a good thing. Like I want that for you, but I would rather disciple you. I would rather help you learn how to trust Jesus and how to surrender to him, all things, including this thing. And so, we were talking about this, and I was just kind of asking, like, what was the recipe of, falling into temptation? What were the days leading up to it like? And, he had a great few days, but it was all kind of filled with stuff that, suited him. He hung out with a lot of friends, and he went and did this thing and did that thing, got some rest and watched some TV and just did all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, in all that stuff, which is awesome, I'm not hearing a lot about spiritual disciplines. Like, did you engage any spiritual disciplines over those previous 3 or 4 days? And he's like, gosh, no, I guess I didn't. And I think the point there is like, going into battle, as we wander through the wilderness, we will enter valleys where there will be battles. And if we are twirling our shield in our fingers and have our helmet kind of strapped to our waist, and we haven't fully put the breastplate on, it's not strapped in back, we're probably not going to be fully prepared for the battles that, kind of sneak up on us in the valleys. And, spiritual disciplines are a great way to put the armor on. The spiritual disciplines connect us with God. So, okay, I said all that, and you're like, what about self-control? Well, self-control is one of the fruit of the Spirit, right? Like that is in the list out of Galatians 5. That is clearly something that the Holy Spirit gives us. And, my friend, that I was talking with, he determined he just needed to have more self-control, which is awesome. I think, yes, let's do that. But let's not just do that in and of ourselves. Let's look to the Holy Spirit who provides that. Like, we can have temporary levels of self-control, but the Spirit gives us a deeper well, like an infinite well that we can draw from. And so, I was like, yeah, dude, I love that. And immediately the verse out of 2 Timothy 1:7 came to mind, that God did not give us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power and of love and of self-control. And that's a powerful verse. Like, that's a good verse to memorize and to be able to pull up. And, when you are maybe facing moments of desperation or temptation, like, there's probably fear baked into that, and insecurity, but God gave us a spirit of power and of love and of self-control. And I told my friend, the one thing I hate about it is the marketing of self-control. I know it's the right phrase, it's the right way to think of it on some level, but truly what we are talking about is not self-control, where we manufacture it. I called it source control. Okay. Not like, I love rebranding things. I used to do this 5-minute-ish Bible study every day called Digging into the Bible. And when we were in Acts, obviously the topic of Pentecost came up. And I said, that's a weird word to me. It means 50 days later. But it's weird. Like, we could call it anything. And I was like trying to rebrand it something goofy called Blazao, or the Perplexion, I think I called it. And that branding didn't stick, okay, which makes sense. I was being very funny and flippant about this. But honestly, I think we kind of need to rebrand self-control, because when we hear it, we very much believe we just need to muster it up. We need to manufacture it. And that is not accurate. It is a fruit of the Spirit. It comes from the Holy Spirit. The more we focus on Him, the more we engage Him, the more we love the witness that we have with Him, the more apt we are to have self-control. So let's rebrand it to source control. What a brilliant idea, because it comes from the source. Like, God Himself is the source of everyone and everything. And included in that is our self-control, our source control. I slipped up. This marketing, this rebranding is going to be hard, but I think we have to think of it that way. And when I said that to this guy, he gave me okay, yeah, word, that's fire. I'm like, oh, okay, well, good, because you're not doing that. And I say that with love. I don't want to be critical of him. He's really doing the best he can, but often the best we can looks like letting go as opposed to hanging on tighter. I just gotta have self-control. No, this act of self-control in a letting go manner is thinking of it and viewing it and living it as if it were source control. The Holy Spirit can and will give you source control. So believe that, rely on it, enjoy it, because His source control, man, that is a deep well that we should all be drawing from. So that's what I have for you today. If you're struggling with sexual integrity, the expectation gaps that come from that, man, the three of us here at Tiller would love to help you with that, because that is a monkey of an expectation gap, and we'd love to help you learn how to do source control even better than maybe you think it's possible. So let us know. Appreciate you checking these out, and I will definitely see you next time. All right, see ya.